Welcome to Timeframe Unknown. Let's start today's video with a lost technology from an empire that ruled high in the Andes Mountains more than 5,000 years ago. This place is called Puma Punku, and what you see here will completely shock you. Imagine giant stone blocks, some weighing 100 to 150 tons, lying scattered across a high plateau almost 13,000 feet above sea level. The megalithic stones found here are among the largest on the planet, but these aren't just random rocks. They look like they're being cut with modern power tools. These stones are cut so perfectly that their edges are almost razor sharp. If you slide your finger across them with even a little pressure, you could actually get a cut. That's how sharp and precise they are. Some stones are shaped into perfect H-blocks, with grooves, angles, and slots so precise they could fit together like Lego. When you place two of them side by side, the connection is so tight that even a razor blade can't slip between them. No cement, no glue, nothing, just stone against stone, fitting with a perfection that feels almost impossible. And you know what? These stones are made from andesite and granite, which are some of the hardest rocks on Earth. Even today, builders need diamond-tipped tools and heavy equipment to cut them. But Puma Punku was built around 500 to 600 AD, a time when, according to history, people had no advanced tools, no steel saws, no power drills. And the mystery doesn't end there. The people who lived in this region, the Tiwanaku and later the Inca, never used the wheel. They had no carts, no wagons, no horses, no oxen. The only animals they used were llamas, and a llama can carry maybe 30 to 40 kilos, not 150 tons. So how did they move these stones across rough, mountainous terrain to the middle of a plateau? Even modern cranes and trucks would struggle to get here. It almost seems like someone brought those rocks through the air because they do not even have a single scratch on them. Well, some scientists suggest they had lost techniques for softening stone with plant-based chemicals. Others think they may have used sound or vibration to help move the blocks. These theories are debated because no one has ever proven them. Standing at Puma Punku today feels like standing on the set of a science fiction movie, except it's real. Right here in the middle of the Andes, scientists, engineers, and archaeologists still shake their heads in disbelief. Who built it? How did they build it? And for what purpose? Some say it was the Inca Empire people. Others believe it was a culture that existed long before them. But no one knows for sure. And that's what makes Puma Punku one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of ancient history. But hold on. Across the ocean in a quiet Spanish village, there is another odd mystery waiting to stare you in the face. Imagine waking one morning and finding a human face slowly appearing on your kitchen floor. That is exactly what happened in the tiny town of Belmez de la Moraleda in southern Spain in 1971. A woman named Maria Gomez Camara noticed a dark stain in her concrete floor, and over days, the stain seemed to take the shape of a human face. The family smashed the face out with a pickaxe and poured new concrete. Then a new face appeared on the fresh floor. News spread fast. By Easter 1972, people were coming from all over to see the house. The place even got a name. People started calling it La Casa de las Caras, the House of the Faces. Over the years, many different faces showed up. Some looked old, some looked young, some seemed angry, some seemed sad. People said the faces sometimes changed size or expression. Locals and visitors photographed them again and again. Scientists and investigators came to check. Some tests were done by the Institute of Ceramics and Glass. Their small samples did not show ordinary paint. But the tests did find tiny amounts of metals like zinc and lead. That made some people suspicious. Others said those traces could come from building materials or tools. Some parapsychologists believed the faces might be thoughtographic. That means they thought a person could project images into the concrete without painting them. A few researchers who supported the mystery said they saw changes in the faces even when the area was sealed and watched by a notary. In 2014, a TV team did new tests. Their chemist and forensic expert said they could not find paint and that they could not recreate the faces using known methods. One of the investigators said he felt baffled by what he saw. After Maria died in 2004, there were claims of more faces. Some of those later cases were shown to be fake. A book published in 2007 accused Maria's son of faking many of the images. Skeptical writers like Joe Nickell and Brian Dunning still say the faces were made by people and used to attract attention. So what should we believe? A curious chemical reaction in concrete? A deliberate hoax to make money? The house still draws curious visitors and the faces still make people talk. What do you think happened? Tell in comments. Okay, now I'll tell you a case where science itself couldn't explain why an entire hospital staff suddenly fell ill. This is the story of Gloria Ramirez, the woman the media called the toxic lady. Gloria Ramirez was just 31 years old when she was rushed into Riverside General Hospital in California one night in 1994. She was battling late-stage cervical cancer and came in struggling to breathe, confused, her heart racing out of control. Doctors and nurses did everything they could, IVs, drugs, even shocking her heart. But that's when things turned bizarre. Staff noticed a weird oily sheen on her skin. A strange garlic-like smell seemed to come from her mouth. When a nurse drew her blood, it had a sharp ammonia-like smell. Inside the syringe, they even noticed weird yellow-brown crystals floating, and then it got scary. One by one, hospital workers began collapsing. A nurse fainted. A doctor grew dizzy. A third staff member dropped unconscious and later woke up unable to control her limbs. In total, 23 people fell sick and 5 had to be hospitalized, all just from being in the same emergency room with Gloria. Gloria sadly passed away that night, but the mystery didn't die with her. People wanted answers. Some experts said it was mass hysteria, basically panic spreading through the staff. But others insisted there was something toxic inside Gloria's body. One theory was that she had been using DMSO, a common solvent, as a home remedy for pain. When doctors gave her oxygen and shocked her heart, that chemical may have turned into a deadly gas. That could explain the strange smells, the crystals in her blood, and why people fainted. But many scientists argue that kind of reaction just isn't possible inside a living human body. So what really happened that night? Was Gloria's body giving off poison? Or did fear and stress make people imagine things? To this day, nobody has a solid answer. The next mystery will shake everything you believe about life and death. It's the story of a little girl from India who claimed to remember an entire past life, her husband's face, her child's name, even the secret place where she once hid money. Her name was Shanti Devi, born in 1926 in Delhi. At first, she seemed like any normal child, but when she started speaking at the age of 4, the words out of her mouth stunned everyone. She told her parents they weren't her real parents. She said her real home was in Mathura, over 100 kilometers away, and that she had once been a woman named Lukdi Devi. And first, her parents thought it was just a childish imagination. But Shanti's words became harder and harder to ignore. She described her husband in detail, his height, the clothes he wore, even the exact name of the shop he ran. She remembered the color of the house she lived in, the street, and even told her parents she had died during childbirth and had left behind a young son, once at just 6 years old. She even tried to run away from home to get back to Mathura. By the time she was 9, teachers and neighbors were so intrigued that they began asking questions. Shanti even spoke in the local dialect of Mathura, a language she had never been taught. The headmaster of her school decided to investigate. He traveled to Mathura and discovered something shocking. There really had been a woman named Lukdi Devi who had died 9 years earlier after giving birth, and her husband's name was Kedarnath Chaubey, the exact man Shanti had been describing. Soon after, Kedarnath himself traveled to Delhi to meet this strange little girl. To test her, he pretended to be his own older brother. But the moment Shanti saw him, she burst into tears and cried out that he was her husband. She even recognized her son from her past life, calling him by name and hugging him tightly. Everyone who witnessed it was left speechless. The story spread so fast that even Mahatma Gandhi took notice. He personally met Shanti and then set up a committee of scholars, politicians, and lawyers to investigate. They traveled with Shanti to Mathura, keeping her under close watch. There, she walked straight through the streets, pointed out her old house, and recognized relatives one by one. She even revealed private details about her past life, things only Lukdi Devi could have known. The committee later published a report confirming that Shanti's memories were eerily accurate. Gandhi himself admitted that he believed something real was happening. Of course, not everyone agreed. Some researchers thought Shanti might have picked up details through gossip or subconscious learning. Others believed her story was exaggerated by people who wanted proof of reincarnation. But even skeptics admitted there were at least 24 statements Shanti made that matched verifiable facts. And then Shanti Devi never married in this lifetime. She lived quietly with her parents, carrying the burden of memories she never asked for. Her story has remained one of the most famous and best documented cases of possible reincarnation in history. To this day, no one has ever fully explained Shanti Devi's case. Was it reincarnation? Was it some freak memory phenomenon? Or something beyond science? No one knows for sure. And that's it for today's journey into the unknown. 4 mysteries. 4 stories that even science and history still struggle to explain. Now, I'd love to hear what you believe. Which of these stories shook you the most? Do you think they're real mysteries? Or is there a hidden explanation we just haven't uncovered yet? Share your thoughts in the comments and hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.